Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger, and it's time to finally take a look at an Ezreal build. I have started playing a little bit since a handful of you have been asking, so I'm playing him today. Also, playing him with the game station as a Moo in the bottom lane, so some of that fun stuff. If you don't know anything about the game station, I'll put a little link in the bottom of this video. You can go check out the game station network and all that fun stuff. But other than that, I'm going to be playing him, bottom lane, obviously. So, going to be playing him more with the AD style. Not going to really be building AP today, as some people do like to play him that way. I do not. I think he's a little bit stronger as AD carry, Ezreal. So, at level 1, I typically start with boots and pots if I have a support champion that's with me that isn't a healer. So, boots and pots. If not, if I do have a healer like a Soraka or maybe a Sona, I will actually start with the Doran's Blade. It's pretty strong on him early game, and that will reflect other items in the build later too that we will talk about. But the beginning of this game is actually kind of slow. There's just a lot of farming, and I actually get out farmed a little bit early because they have a... Who do they have bot? Volibear, who can kind of be a little bit of a pain. So we get off to a little, not even really rough start, but just slow start. So this will be pretty quick, fast-forwarding stuff. So I'll go ahead and jump right on in to what I get first at level 1. I do take his Mystic Shot, as most people do. And then, you know what, kind of leveling up his abilities is kind of a personal choice for some people. Probably want to max out your Mystic Shot first, but occasionally against other certain AD carries in bottom lane, depending on their attack speed and what they're building first, sometimes it's actually not a horrible idea to max or get more points in your Essence Flux because it slows down their attack speed. So when you actually do get in a fight with them, they won't have any attack speed if you hit them with it, and you pretty much win that fight because they can't hit you with anything. So it's something to think about depending on who you're going up against and who you're fighting. So just remember that. Obviously, I try to take 1 point in all 3 of my first 3 abilities. Obviously, levels 1, 2, and 3. At least get 1 point in them so you have everything available, which will obviously help you with your passive, which gives you the increased attack speed whenever you land one of your abilities. So, and that stacks up to 5 times. So, you'll get more attack speed that way early game as well, which will also help you in fights down in bottom lane. So, as for the rune page that I do usually take with Ezreal, there's a few little fluctuating ones that I do sometimes take. I either go with crit or AD marks, so that's kind of a personal choice. I think this game I have crit marks just because that's what I had currently as a page. Then I either take armor or mana regen seals. Now, the armor seals are obviously going to help you stay in lane and negate some of the other carries' damage that you will be taking, but because you're Ezreal and your stuff is on very short cooldowns and it's really fun to poke with all of your skill shots, as you can probably see constantly, I'm pretty much poking them a lot. Sometimes it's not a bad idea to have some of that extra mana regen if you want it. So, the mana regen per level seals are actually really strong. I usually take them with all of my AP casters that use mana, and they're really good runes overall, in my opinion. They give you a lot of mana regen. You really don't have to think about any kind of mana regen items. I know some people like to get mana immune with Ez, and if that's what you want to get with him, because you want the mana regen, you want some of the mana stuff, in that case, just get those runes. You'll be pretty strong that way. As for the glyphs that I typically take with him, I think this game I have the magic regeneration per level glyphs. It's going to help you just stay alive later in late game. Just having some of that magic resist is definitely going to make you a little bit of a stronger champion, just so you can negate some of that damage. I think here, Amumu is going to die, unfortunately, to that ignite, but that will happen, obviously. And then as for my quintessences, I typically take flat AD quintessences because of the first item I'm going to be building towards, and for other reasons, to just have some extra damage since I don't have a Doran's Blade, and I'm missing some damage there. So, at level 1, or not level 1, sorry, as my first item, I actually like to go by a Sheen. I'm going to be building a Trinity Force pretty quick on Ezreal. It's a really strong item on him. The Sheen's going to be good to have for multiple reasons. A couple of them being, since you have True Shot stuff, or, you know, since you can cast all of your stuff really fast over and over, and you can poke them immediately behind, let's say, behind your Mystic Shot, you're going to be able to get that extra damage out on top of that Sheen all the time. So it's a really smart item to get on him. Also, it gives you some AP, which also helps some of your abilities. And it does give you a little bit more mana, so you have more mana in lane. Here we're going to get into a fight. I'm going to blow up Volibear real quick, and then I'm going to back off real quick, because she is trying to come at me. I'm going to get away, though, considering they kind of started that fight. We also have a little fight in River happening at the time, too. So I'm going to pick up a kill there. It was kind of close, but nothing too bad. Also, while I was back at base, I did also finish off my boots. I go with the attack speed boots for Ezreal. Just a solid choice. Most people take those. I don't really worry about the cooldown boots. I know a few people do those, but your stuff's up pretty quick. So the cooldown boots would probably be way more recommended if you're going AP Ezreal, because your standard attack at that point is not very strong or as strong. So gonna go with the attack speed boots here. I'm gonna jump on her. She's trying to take the tower, and I'm gonna get some free pokes off on her. I'm gonna ignite her and then hit her with all of my shots. Now, while I'm going to kill her, Volibear shows up. And he's going to flip me towards her, which is nice, but she's going to walk into my ultimate as I use it, and then I'm actually going to turn around and start doing damage to him. I am taking a handful of minion damage. He's going to try to get away, but I'm going to use my Arcane Shift to get closer to him and then land one more Mystic Shot to finish him off. So pick up a nice little double kill there. That's definitely going to help me out. Going back to the items that I was getting, obviously that first time I did get a Vampire Acceptor 2 for my sustainability down bottom lane. And this time when I went back, I'm going to pick up the Zeal, and I'm going to pick up a little bit more damage so I can just try to finish off that Trinity Force pretty quick, because that's the main first item that you kind of want. Now, there's a few other items you could definitely get first if you want to. Infinity Edge is never a bad idea, but having that sheen and just that damage all the time is pretty nice to have. So, just going to keep poking and keep hitting everything I can. Going to keep proccing the sheen and use my ultimate there and pick up a kill on the Ahri in the mid lane. Not too bad there. And, yeah, we're just going to keep farming away best we can. Like I said, I did not farm up too well this game, but I'm making up for it by getting some kills. And that was kind of a crummy fight that we got just in there, but that's going to happen. So, I'm going to try to go bottom and help out Vlad here, but I think she is going to barely get away because Amumu is going to show up. But that will happen. Other than that, yeah, so I usually like to start out with Trinity Force. There's a handful of ways you can actually build Ezreal because he is somewhat viable as an AP. He can go hybrid, but it's probably his weakest form. Just kind of depends. And then, as I stated, I like his AD setup the most. It's kind of my favorite way to play him. But it really comes down to what you're comfortable with. But AD Ezreal is kind of good for being a carry. He's got some unique stuff. Obviously, you got to practice your skill shots a little bit. Since you kind of have to use, since just about everything he has is a skill shot. And it's just something to think about, whether or not you're strong with skill shots or not. So he takes a little bit of practice to get used to, and you got to know when and when not to have your Arcane Shift, whether or not you need it to initiate into a fight, or whenever you need it to get away. I think here in a second, I'm going to use it to get away, because I need it. Or no, I had a flash to get out of this fight because it's taking too much damage. I'm going to get my ult off. I try to get my ult off at the beginning of fights if they're all stacked up. Here I'm going to keep trying to focus back a little bit, but try to keep my distance because I don't want to die here, but I still want to help the team out. I kind of got caught up in a lot of damage early, and now they're Sivir's showing up, and she is a little late to the fight, so she has all of her health. So I've got to just be kind of careful. I'm going to not try to die to her. So last thing I want is their AD carry getting ahead of me. So just try to defend that tower, but I knew it was going to go down, which is going to happen. I'm going to move over here and just farm up. And I need to go back to base, I think. Maybe pick up some items in a second, because that's always the thing to do. But, yeah. As for the masteries that I do typically take for Ezreal, since I'm going AD, I go with actually a 27-3-0. It is a lot in the offensive tree. I try to get all that extra damage to towers and all that other fun stuff. This is a crummy team fight we should not have gotten in, and then I lagged for a second and got caught on the outside of them. But, sometimes I change up the masteries page from a 21-9-0 to a 27-3-0. What I do with that is just try to pick up all of the extra damage that I can for add damage to minions, damage to towers, and everything, basically any physical damage stuff that I can pick up. Now here, this little fight that we're getting in is them trying to push our base really hard after that last ace they just got, but they all stuck around too long at half-life, so we showed up and was able to ace them. So now we're going to try to go into their mid lane and try to push this down a little bit since they're ahead of us on towers right now. So, yes, we were going to get this tower. Now we're going to move forward and pick up their second tower as well. So them staying a little long may have cost them a little bit more than they thought. So we're going to be able to retreat from this fine too and get away. But sometimes I like to start with go with a masteries page that just has a little bit extra damage in it, because it's just nice to have some of that more damage. And then as for the 3, I think I have that 3 in armor in the defensive tree, just having a little bit more armor early game so you can negate some attack damage from their carry down the bottom lane, especially if you get into a little 2v2 fight down there. It's nice to be able to negate a little bit of their physical damage so you can live and win a fight. So, we're all hanging out in mid lane because we're kind of in that phase. They are trying to push our side pretty hard. I'm going to open up with my ult here. They're getting a little bit of a fight. Volibear's going to move in and try to get to Ahri, but she runs away pretty quick. And I'm just going to jump in here and try to focus this Malphite real quick. I'm going to pick up a kill on him. And here, if she wouldn't have done that, I probably would have hit her and maybe killed her. Here, Amumu's coming out from the side. He probably should not came out in the lane, so we're going to try to kill him. I think he's going to ult, but we're still going to be able to kill him. Nothing too hard there. They have a handful of tanks on their team. We kind of have some tanky people on our team as well. But they have 3 tanks, I think, depending on how you look at it. Volibear, Amumu, and the Malphite. So I think we have 2 Volibear and a Amumu. Vladimir gets kind of tanky, but not specifically a tank in any way. So, I'm going to go back to base. Last time I was there, I did pick up a BF sword and then a pickaxe. Going to be building that towards the Infinity Edge. Now, I know some people like to start rushing way more attack speed with Ezreal, and you can do that too sometimes, but I think you need more damage. You can stack your own attack speed, and you already have attack speed boots, and the Trinity Force is already giving you more attack speed anyways, because it has that Zeal built into it. So, and then like with your passive, you can stack even more attack speed when you're landing your abilities. So, you don't really need to keep stacking all types of attack speed. You just want to start getting all your damage, which is going to help my Sheen out a little bit more. Here, I'm going to get my ult off and get stuck in that Amumu ult. Here, I'm going to move forward, though, and pick up a kill on the Volibear, and then pick up a kill on Sivir. And then I'm going to pick up a kill on Malphite, and then I'm going to pick up a kill on Ahri. Yeah. Pick up the quick quadra kill. And we're going to try to push the base now best we can. We're going to try to get this tower, which we'll be able to, and then pick up the inhibitor as well. So, pretty good team fight there. Not too bad. I was able to get in and move around and do what I could. Here we were going to try to take their side tower, but it's got more life than we want to tank, so we're actually going to move back out of their base. Our Yi wants us to go take Baron now, but they're all back up, and we're not sure if it's warded. None of us have an Oracles, and we don't have very many wards on the map right now, so we're telling him no. So we're going to go back. I'm going to be able to go back to base. I already have my Infinity Edge from the last time when I did go back. But now I'm going to start building towards my next item. Since I already have that Vampiric Scepter, I don't always build it immediately into the next item I'm going to be building the Vamp Scepter into. Sometimes I like to take a little bit of time. You don't really need to get a Bloodthirster immediately on him. Just having some of that lifesteal is going to help keep you alive. You don't need to worry about tons of lifesteal yet. You need a little bit more damage. And I know it does give you more damage, but the IE is just going to give you way more damage than the Bloodthirster, so... gonna start building towards the Bloodthirster now, though. Gonna try to catch up and do some damage as much as I can. Gonna get snared again. Gonna get my ult off and hit a couple of them with it. Then I'm gonna, keep hitting him with all my abilities. I'm gonna pick up a bunch of assists in this team fight for the most part, which is fine as long as you're helping the team out. That is the main thing, really. Obviously, it is frustrating when you're the carry and you can't get kills because it makes it a little bit harder to keep up in your build, but that will happen here. I get greedy and get taunted and die to the tower mostly. So, but that was because I was bored. And because I got greedy. So, gonna go back to base, and I don't think... Am I gonna have enough for the Bloodthirster? I think I do. Yes, I do. So, we're gonna have that now. So, we're gonna put out plenty of damage right now, and obviously that's gonna help tons with the Sheen. You might be seeing me use my ult randomly while I'm back at base. It's just to clear lanes. Also, you can pick up some minion kills with your ultimate, and while you're back at base, say you need like 100 gold, just use your ultimate down a lane, pick up some minion kills. You'll be able to do it, and you'll be able to get your gold. And he's got a pretty short cooldown on his ultimate. Here, I'm going to actually run in, and I find Malphite. I kind of chase him a little bit, and then I forget that their team's coming around the side. I literally find their whole team, and I'm going to die. But... this is perfect bait for my team. They use a bunch of ults just on me, and that's going to set up an easy ace for our team to run in there and just blow them up. Yi's going to get, I think, a triple kill. And, you know what? That's going to be fine by me to die there if that leaves the rest of my team pretty much alive and able to push a little bit more. So, yeah. Pro bait Ezreal. I think they're going to go back and get Baron real quick. Or, no, they're not, actually. They don't have enough attack damage, really, to take it out. I'm going to send another ultimate down mid. I think I do hit a couple of them there while they're chasing Volibear. But, yes. As for the next items, at this point, you're pretty set well in the build for your main damage items. Now, there's a few ways you can go from here, depending on the team. Those items can range anywhere from... I think the next one I actually start to build is a Ghostblade. I pick up the Brutalizer because they are starting to finally get a little bit of armor on their team. They're pretty tanky, but they're finally getting more armor, so I want to kind of penetrate more of that. So I'm going to get that, which I can also speed up my attack speed with, too, once I get the Ghostblade. Another way you could start going now, since you have enough damage, you could build a Guardian Angel, so you could obviously be revived with the Guardian Angel's passive, which is going to be a good thing to have as well. And then at this point, you could start getting more attack speed since you have the damage now. So you could start building a Phantom Dancer, and also it's going to increase your move speed as well and give you more crit chance. And more crit chance is never a bad thing with this build. You're sitting around, I think, 56% with all the setup that I have with everything right now for crit chance. Get my ult off, hit a few of them. I'm going to pick up a kill on somebody here, probably, on the Amumu. We're going to keep moving in. And we're going to probably be able to wrap this game up in a second since we're kind of in their base and getting plenty of kills. But typically, there's a few items like those that you could finish out the build with. I think Volibear's going to barely get away. Yes, he is. We're going to go ahead and finish this game up. If you guys have any questions about anything, go ahead and put those in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't. Other than that, guys, I'll probably just see all of you in the next build video.